hate to lose. I wanna win! I need professional.
Arrow.
Veloce.
He's the best.
Use right.
Using a sniper is probably one of the most satisfying ways to play. While everyone is out there using Mountaintop, Recluse, and Lord of Wolves, there's nothing that makes me feel as alive as sniping a one-eyed masked Titan right in the kisser as he's inches away from shoulder charging my guts into Jupiter. But sniping ain't always easy, so I'm gonna go over some snipers to look for, solid perks and builds, and then some strategies and tips for sniping. Typically, I use two snipers. My main sniper would be my beloved, and then depending on my loadout, I'll use Revoker as my primary sniper. If you don't have either of these, that is okay. Beloved can be obtained from Menagerie, which is very easy to do in farm to get different roles. But there is plenty of other good snipers. Snipers are going to come down to three archetypes: 72 rounds per minute, 90 rounds per minute, and 140 rounds per minute. The lower the RPM, rounds per minute, the higher the damage it deals in one shot, but the slower it shoots. 140 RPM snipers are the only snipers that can't one-shot a roaming super. I don't think any archetype is necessarily bad, and each has their pros and cons. A 140 may not be able to one-shot a super, but it can shoot really fast, allowing for quick follow-up shots and potentially multiple quick kills. A 72 RPM sniper, on the other hand, does a lot more body shot damage and will often finish other guardians that are slightly weak already. 90 RPM is the perfect balance between the two and is ultimately my preferred choice. Snipers have a few hidden stats that can't be seen in game. If you use Destiny Item Manager, you can actually see these hidden stats. These stats are the zoom levels of the scopes on snipers, the recoil direction, and how much aim assist they have. Zoom level, range, and aim assist all affect the bullet magnetism of a sniper. Bullet magnetism, or aim assist, is basically how sticky a sniper will feel on headshots, or making the hitboxes of an enemy slightly larger or smaller depending on how much aim assist a weapon has. The range stat works as a hidden bonus to aim assist without directly affecting the amount of aim assist the weapon has. A sniper with low range might have a high aim assist to make up for it, while a sniper with low aim assist might have crazy high range, so they kinda even each other out. The distance of your target also factors into this hitbox, as well as the zoom level of your scope. Typically, I go for the shortest zoom scopes possible. Revoker has one of the lowest zooms with a zoom level of 35, while Beloved has a zoom level of 40. Most of the other snipers I've seen are around 42 to 45 zoom with short scopes. The reason I go for really low zoom scopes is because I'm more of an aggressive sniper. The fights I get into are usually at closer ranges, so I want to be able to see as much of the battlefield as possible through my scope. If you're more of a passive and defensive player holding long sightlines, you might want a longer range scope. A good example of how all these different hidden perks come into play is on Widow's Court with Revoker. Revoker has a ton of range but low aim assist and a really short zoom scope. I've had long distance sniping battles where it looked like I should have gotten a headshot, but because the distance was so far, it actually missed. If I had used a sniper with a higher zoom scope, the hitbox would have been larger at that longer range, meaning those barely on target shots would still register. In the closer range fights though, Revoker barely misses a shot. I wouldn't dwell on these stats too much, just find the sniper that feels best to you and roll with it. It's good to know these mechanics so you can understand why some shots hit and others didn't, and get a better idea of what ranges you should be fighting in and when you should and shouldn't take a shot.
30 seconds remaining.
When it comes to perks and roles in a sniper, what I care about in a sniper is a low zoom scope and snapshot sights. That's basically a god roll for me, and I don't care about much else. But there are some other good perks. Quick draw to max out handling is always a solid option. Opening shot gives you super aim assist on your first shot, and moving target is another good choice for having higher mobility while scoped in. No distractions and box breathing is not worth it in my opinion for my playstyle, but if you like to hold those lanes and play defensively, they have their benefits for that type of gameplay. The beloved I use has Rampage, which can be situationally nice for more damage on a body shot, but most of the time it's really not that useful. I try to stay away from really situational perks for snipers, because snipers already one-shot headshot and do tons of body damage. I'd much rather have a sniper that feels quick and snappy, versus one that might one-shot body when there's a solar eclipse. To make it nice and simple, my recommendations would be a low zoom scope, any perks that give you more range and range masterwork to increase aim assist, and snapshot sights. Mags that increase handling or reload speed are nice, and any other perks with that combo are cool bonuses, but that's what I'd keep an eye out for. Don't get too caught up thinking you need the perfect god roll. At the end of the day, your sniping ability is way more important than how good the perks on your sniper are.
No lives left for your enemy.
For snipers, there's a few armor mods that are really important, and others that don't do enough to make them worth it. To use sniper mods, you need to be using void armor pieces. For each armor piece, there's different mods that can be applied. The most important one is going to be Sniper Rifle Scavenger. This allows you to get 3 rounds per green ammo brick instead of 1, which means you'll have tons more ammo and more chances at getting sniper eliminations. Sniper Ammo Finder and Sniper Reserves aren't useful in PvP since you'll rarely have enough rounds to cap out your capacity, and ammo only drops from Guardian kills. The other useful mods are Sniper Rifle Targeting on helmets for more aim assist, faster ADS speed, and accuracy. Sniper Rifle Loader on gloves increases your reload speed, obviously. Unflinching Sniper Aim on a chest piece hardly makes a difference, so I typically prefer to use a primary weapon unflinching perk instead. Another perk on boots you can use is Sniper Rifle Dexterity. This is another one I prefer to use the hand cannon version of it, so I can quickly swap to clean up kills. The last one I'd recommend is Remote Connection on class items. This will give you more super energy on sniper kills. In a competitive game, I'll usually be the first one to get super because of this perk.
Let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
I'll go over some sniping strategies and moves that I use personally. I would like to preface this by saying, there are some things that I can teach and some things I can't. A lot of times sniping is more muscle memory than anything. Muscle memory that is developed through many hours of practice. A lot of times I don't think about the shots I take. I'm reacting before I can process what's going on. You can't really tell someone to flick their wrist and click on heads and all of a sudden that person is a god at sniping. But it is learnable through experience. And not by only using snipers when you're playing against bots, not by switching to more comfortable loadouts when it gets tough. You have to stick with it and challenge yourself. Otherwise, you're never going to get anywhere if you always play it safe. How are you going to learn how to snipe someone while being flinched if you only snipe when the conditions are perfect for you? A lot of my sniping is based on feel and reflexes, and I constantly surprise myself with some of the shots that I can pull off from time to time. With some dedication, I'm sure you'll be surprising yourself soon enough and build your own reflexes and muscle memory. Because snipers one-shot to the head, a lot of people think it's not worth shooting unless you know you can hit the head. But body shots are still extremely effective. Since snipers do so much damage, you will often clean up kills or give opportunities for your teammates to clean up. Don't wait for the perfect headshot, take advantage of every situation. A body shot then quickly switching to your primary weapon to finish an enemy is a solid anti-rusher strategy. Don't forget it. Like I've said earlier, I'm more of an aggressive sniper. I hate staying in one spot. Typically, hardscoping one lane is a bad idea. The enemy will catch on and either avoid that lane entirely, or constantly flank you from different angles that might not be the best for your sniper's range. Move between lanes, constantly checking them, and don't stay hardscoped for too long. You want to be able to check your radar frequently. There may be a shotgun rusher sprinting around you that'll catch you off guard. I often go in and out of scoping to briefly check radar. You also don't want to position yourself where shotgunners named Get Good can easily come around a corner and fill your face with tiny pellets. The easiest counter to a shotgun is to create space between you. Your radar is your best friend, and as soon as you see it going off, reposition and backpedal. The shotgunner is hoping to catch you off guard, so use it against them to catch them off guard. When peeking around corners, sweep the corner while scoped in so you can quickly pick off unexpected potatoes. Try not to walk out looking for a target, then waste time scoping in to shoot. The only downside of sweeping corners while aiming down sights is when you're going against other snipers or multiple enemies team shooting. This is where slide shotting comes in. Slide shotting is a lot harder to pull off but extremely effective. Snapshot sights helps a lot when slide shooting. When going to peek corners, you can slide out into the open, quickly aim down sights and try to get a quick headshot. Then keep your momentum to get back into cover. You're a much harder target to hit and will catch other snipers off guard. It will take some practice, but when you pull it off, it's super satisfying. Snipers are surprisingly accurate from the hip. If you're ever stuck in a bad close quarter situation, don't be afraid to take the risk and go for a no-scope. A no-scope melee is an effective tactic, but it is risky. It's a solid counter to a shotgunner if you wait around the corner they're about to come through and hit them with a 1-2 punch. I would advise to try not to get in those situations and really play the map to your advantage, but know the option is there if you need it. It's definitely got me out of so many sticky situations. Typically, floating in the air is a death sentence, especially in the open against other snipers. You might as well have a giant clown mask on soaring through the skies. That's not to say it's bad all the time. Snipers are surprisingly accurate in the air, especially if you're running Icarus grip. You can easily catch people off guard slightly jumping over cover to get a quick shot at them, or floating high in the air out of someone's sight and striking them like lightning. Similar to no-scoping, you're completely screwed if you miss, so do it sparingly. Just wait for your scope to steady while in the air, and then take your shot. Snipers will always be one of my favorite weapons to use in Destiny. The red glare is one of the most intimidating sights you can see in PvP. It is also a weapon that gains respect. In a world of cheesy one-hit abilities and weapons, the precision and speed required to use a sniper puts the grease in your hands and tells yourself, I've earned that kill. Even when dying to an amazing sniper shot, two opposing guardians can come together, shake hands, and appreciate the play pulled off by their enemy instead of screeching twat at the Lord of Wolves user. If you have any questions on builds or snipers, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. You can also join my Discord to chat, or just join in on some games. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, I'd very much appreciate a like, subscribe for more awesome content, and I'll catch you next time.